Today is day 1 of the 12 Days of Christmas, or as I'm going to call it, the 12 Months of Christmas series, and you will be making the partridge in a pear tree. And here is the partridge and the pear I made last year. To make the partridge following this book, we will need felt, thread, needle, scissors, fabric marker, this one is heat erasable, ribbon, I'm using a 1/8 inch wide ribbon, toy filling, and we'll need a pattern which is in the book. I don't have the heart to cut up this book, so I made a copy of the pattern and I'll be using that instead. And a double-sided tape to help us keep the pattern in place. We are going to start by cutting out the pieces we need. There are different ways of doing this. You can cut out your pattern first, place it on the felt, and just trace it with a fabric pen. But my favorite method is using a double-sided tape, and I'll show you how. Apply a piece of tape to the back of the pattern and place it on the felt. This way, the pattern doesn't shift and you can cut it out easily. Make sure the scissors you are using to cut the felt are sharp. The white and red scissors I just used are brand new, but they are not sharp enough for cutting felt. The red scissors, on the other hand, work great, especially when cutting out smaller pieces. Here is the wing, and just like this, we'll cut out the rest of the pieces. You can save the scrap pieces and use them as the stuffing. Here are all the pieces cut out: the wings, his body, head, and the crest. And now we can start sewing the pieces together. First, I'm going to attach the head to the body. I'm going to overlap the edges of the head and the body, and that's where I'm going to connect them together. Remember to make the other side in a mirror image. First, I'm going to make this V-looking pattern along the neckline, and this will help to connect the head and the body together. Here we have the head and the body sewn together, and I'll show you in a little bit how I did it. I want to make sure that the back side is aligned the same way as the front side, so when I connect them together, they align perfectly. Sometimes it's hard to keep a straight line, and as you sew you can make your stitches go more narrow or wide. So it helps if I use a marker and draw a line where I want my stitches to go. Because this is a heat erasable marker, once I heat it up, the line will disappear. I'm double checking the pieces are aligned, and then I can start sewing. And I'm just making these simple stitches in a V shape. Do you see this white line? I'll show you how to remove it. I need to clean off the table first or things will blow away. You can use a hair dryer or an iron, and by applying heat to the marked spot, it will disappear. Can you see? The line is now gone. Here we have the front and the back, and look, they are matching perfectly. Next step is going to be to attach the wing. To attach the wing to the body, I am going to use a blanket stitch. See, just like this one on here. To make the blanket stitch, start by bringing your needle through the layer of the felt right by the wing, and then take it back through both layers of the felt. Then come back again where you started first, and now make another stitch a short distance away. Make sure to take the needle from the front to the back and come up from the back, catching the loop. And just continue with your stitches the same way. Down, up, catch the loop. To make it nice and neat, try to keep the distance between the stitches the same. I can't say enough good things about this book. This video is here to visually help you with making these ornaments, but the book contains all the instructions you need. It is very affordable and honestly, it is worth every penny. This video is not sponsored, this is just my honest opinion. If you enjoy crafting, this book will provide you with hours of joy and entertainment, and I really hope you give it a try. The link to purchase the book is listed in the description box below. And just like that, keep continuous stitching all around following the curve of the wing. Next we'll make these V-shaped stitches on the wing and we'll be making them on both sides. I'll be using this dark green color. I just wanted to do something different than on the picture, but I do like the red one a lot. These are pretty easy and simple to make. And just like that, the first wing is done and decorated. I am now going to repeat the same pattern on the other side. Now that I have both of the wings decorated, I will add these lines to his neck. Then I'll make these decorative stitches along the neckline and add some French knots to his belly. I am using the same color as I used on the wing and just making a few straight stitches on the neck. I've been using one strand for the stitches so far, except the V-shaped stitch along the neckline. But for this upcoming stitch, I'll be using 2 strands. And I'll be using daisy stitches right underneath the V-shaped stitches that are connecting the head to the body. To make a daisy stitch, bring your needle up and then take it back through the same hole. Then come back up again to make this little petal shape. And then go over the thread and down to hold it. Next, I'll make these French knots on the bottom of each daisy stitch I just made. Some people find making French knots frustrating, but they are not that hard to make. Bring your needle up and twist the thread around your needle. I'm twisting it 3 times around. Push the needle back through the felt very close to the same spot and pull the thread through slowly. Make sure to hold your thread to put some tension on it so the thread you twisted around the needle doesn't come apart. The size of the French knot will depend on how many strands of the thread are you using and how many times are you twisting it around the needle. I am using 2 strands and twisting it around 3 times. To make the eye, I will use a French knot again. This time, I am using 4 strands and twisting it around 3 times. Last thing to do on his body is to add these French knots to his belly. I am using 2 strands again and twisting it around 3 times. Now that the body is ready, I am going to work on the crest. First, I will decorate it with a back stitch and then connect the front and the back with a blanket stitch. When you decorate the back side, don't forget they need to be mirror images. Now that both sides are done, we'll connect them with a blanket stitch. This crest is so tiny and hard to hold in between my fingers, and I have to be careful not to poke myself. We are now ready to assemble the partridge. I want to stuff it through the belly, so I'll start my sewing here. To connect the pieces, I'll be using a blanket stitch. To hide the knot at the end of the thread, I'll start my stitch from the inside of his belly. Just pull your needle through the top layer, and this way the end of the thread is going to be hidden. Now come up through both layers of the felt and catch the loop. Make another stitch a short distance away and catch the loop again. Make sure to keep the distance between the stitches equal. I'm just going to continue stitching all the way around, and when I get to the top, I'll insert the ribbon. I'll place the ribbon right here at the curve of his back. I am measuring out around 7 inches and folding it in half. Then I'll insert it and hold it with a few stitches. Next up is securing the crest. I inserted the crest on the top of his head, and I am going to secure it with few stitches, just like I did with the ribbon. I found this beak part a little challenging. It is definitely giving me hard time. See, on this one I just went around, but in the picture there is a little straight line. I'm going to try again. It's just so delicate and I don't want the tip of the beak to fall apart. While you watch me struggle with the beak, I want to remind you of the giveaway. If you watched my intro video to this series, you already know the rules. But if you haven't, here is the recap and the full rules are posted in the description box below. I'll be giving away the whole set of the ornaments at the end of the series. The ornaments I'll be giving away will be the exact one I'm making on the screen. If you would like to win it, just comment below. Today's question is, which stitch is your favorite and which one is your least favorite? I personally like the blanket stitch, which is great because I'll be using it a lot making these ornaments. And my least favorite is the satin stitch. I can never make that look right. Well, I think this will do it. That was probably the hardest part, at least for me. Now I just need to finish stitching and stuff the bird. I have some toy filling, but I also cut up the scrap pieces of the felt and I'm going to use those as filling as well. I am using a chopstick to reach the places further away. Make sure to use enough toy filling. It will look better if the partridge is more on the plump side. Once I am done stuffing, I'll close him up completely. And the first ornament is ready. I think he turned out really good. Here is the one I made last year compared to the one I just made. I think I can see an improvement in my stitching. And here is the picture of the partridge from the book compared to my partridge. Not too bad. I'll be sad to let him go, but I'm sure he will like his new home.